and we'll go to the Double-A, but first we need to break away. So Stacy, stand by. We're coming to you next, and we'll get an update from Sioux Falls. We are still, about 10 minutes or so away from DeSmet and Armour. We'll be back. To the state B title, Pat, right here on Kelloland TV. Tom, what do you think of this one?
I've said since we saw the pairings a week ago that this was going to be a good basketball game. Good rivalry. Armour at 17-4. DeSmet comes in at 20-2. And as we saw with Jensen in that game before, another player to watch in this one, Josh McNames.
Yeah, he's a good one. When we flipped, Tom won the flip, and he wanted this game. Wade Fisher's our PA man, the Bulldogs and the Packers. Let's meet him.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the final game of today's first round. This evening's game, we have the Bulldogs of DeSmet High School and the Packers of Armour High School. Now the starting lineups. First, the cheerleaders for the DeSmet Bulldogs. Jessica Bose, Tracy Kretschmer, Leah Twite, Vicki Wilkinson, Brittany Jansen. And now the reserve players for the Bulldogs of DeSmet High School. Mike Burgers, Josh Palmer, Buddy Vincent, Aaron Martin, Darren Larson, Nolan Wacko, Mark Wilkinson. And now the starting lineup for the DeSmet Bulldogs. Starting at one guard, number 23, Josh McNames. At another guard, number 55, Barry Heen. At one forward, number 15, Adam Dannenbring. At another forward, number 21, Jeremy Dobson. And at center, number 41, Ross Cruz. Head coach Marv McCune, assistants Pat Wheeler, Troy Sturgeon, and Dave Carmen. Now the cheerleaders for the Armour Packers. Sarah Wonder, Robin Fink, Amy Hornstra, Paula Semler, Tanya Remnitz. Now the reserve players for the Armour Packers. Dean Voigt, Chris Pfeiffer, Matt D. Ward, Jason Peters, Lyle Johnson, Matt Sparks, Matt Ernster. And now the starting lineups for the Armour Packers. Starting at one guard, number 10, Austin Ledebor. At another guard, number 22, Chris Peters. At one forward, number 32, Tony Knorr. At another forward, number 42, Brandon Sanders. And at center, number 44, Jeremy Larson. Head coach Vernell Glanzer, assistant Ron Weber. Officials for this evening's contest are Keith Kusler and Marty Wisemantle.
Well, Tom, I know when the Armour Packers were introduced, and one of the things we talked with Vernell Glanzer about is the kids went out in order, sophomore, freshman, to go along with the two seniors, Sanders and Larson.
Sophomore at the guard, where on the other side of the floor it's senior in McNames and Dobson, and that is going to be a tough matchup for the Armour guards tonight.
Yeah, in Class B, we just saw the premier post player do his thing, Chris Jansen. We're about to see the premier point guard do his thing, and that is Josh McNames, and that's what Coach Glanzer and the Packers have been concentrating on. Of course, there's still three other players that average in double figures, but Josh makes it all work.
Sanders and Ross Cruz tip it off, and Armour in the Missouri-style looking uniforms in the yellow. And this is Brandon Sanders, the senior. He averages about 24 a game, and off to the good start.
Terrific ball player. Leading scorer, leading rebounder, 31 blocks. It's 60% of his three-point shots and 55 overall. Brandon Sanders, without a doubt, the top offensive gun for the Pack.
Adam Dannenbring. 6'1 senior. Dannenbring, Dobson, McNames, Ross Cruz, and Barry Hine as the starters. This is Hine applying a little pressure. Brandon Sanders, Austin Ledebor, Chris Peters inside to Jeremy Larson, who plays center for the Packers. Foul's going to go on Ross Cruz. Good look at Burnell Glanzer. I about said his brother's name, but Burnell in his 20th year with the Packers now. An outstanding record, 385 wins in 20 years in Armour.
And only 65 the other way, so that, you're right, that is good. State champions. How can anyone who follows basketball and has been around in South Dakota not know about the Armour Packer teams, those awesome teams in the late 70s?
Won the state title in 78, 79. The Tiefenthalers and the Friedels. So both no-goes for Jeremy Larson, and McNames and the Bulldogs will set up shop at the other end. This is Hine. We're working against the 1-3-1 zone. Josh McNames averages 10 assists, 5 steals.
And there's a rebound.
They go along with 16 points a game, and this is Hine. That's going to go. Cruz at about 6'3" in there in the middle. Brandon Sanders, the tallest player on the floor at 6'4" for Armour. 32 is Tony Noor, just a freshman.
Kind of an interesting coaching matchup, too, the battle of the veterans.
Sanders with 5, and it's 5-2 Armour. Yeah, Marv McCune, no stranger to South Dakota, 13th year at DeSmet.
As a head coach, he's been there 17 years.
Dannenbring has 4.
In fact, DeSmet, no stranger to the state tournament. 17 total appearances in the state, 16 in the Class B, 1 in the A, a foul by Hine. 7 of the last 10 years in the last 4 years in a row, DeSmet has been at state.
4 straight tournaments. That is something. 20-2 on the year. They lost to Clark early in the season. They also lost to state A runner-up Howard. But they will put on the pressure with Dobson and Hines and McNames. And this is one of those sophomores, Chris Peters for Armour. Larson to Sanders. And Austin Ledebor. Whistled for Watkins.
DeSmet, I think, well, I'm pretty sure, I know they play the toughest schedule of the Bees. They play Howard and Flander and Madison and Wessington Springs, Sioux Valley, all Class A's schools. But DeSmet really, and Coach Marv McCune says, I think we need to keep those kids on, or those teams rather, on our schedules because we're always on the edge of being Class B or Class A.
Not every 4 years they switch over, they realign, and they were in A not too long ago. Here's McNames looking at the pass to Jeremy Dobson with hooping the fouls.
Josh McNames owns every possible assist record for DeSmet. That's why he averages 10 a game. This kid has terrific court sense and where his teammates are. And of course, after getting bonked on the head a few times, Dobson and Dannenbring and Cruz and Hine know to look when McNames has the ball.
The excellent movement without the ball from Jeremy Dobson. Kind of a slippery player, McCune calls him. He goes unnoticed, really, because McNames and Cruz get so much of the attention defensively. But Dobson at 14 points a game, and there is the steal that leads to so many easy points for DeSmet.
Josh McNames also almost 5 steals a game. Of course, one of the key members from the state tournament team for Armour last year was Ryan Van Zee. He was a Mr. Basketball finalist, and the team had a little adjustment and try to figure out what to do without the big guy in there.
Barry Hine got it up on the rim, but it rolls off. We're going to get a little bit of a rollover foul on Hine. Going after the loose ball. I think Larson's okay. Despite the grimace.
Larson in the second half of the season really has come alive, I guess, as the way Coach Glanzer said it. outsmarts just a hair as Hine rolled up on his leg in the victory over Corsica.
That's 2 quick fouls on Hine. Number 25 is Buddy Vincent, a junior, into the game to replace Barry. Darren Larson is also in the ball game for DeSmet. He will draw the defensive assignment on Sanders as Austin Ledebor sets the offense, and they got him for dragging the foot. So McNames will run it back. DeSmet with a 6-5 lead, about 3 minutes into the ball game. Inside to Cruz and taken away by Ledebor. This is Larson. And the rim is unkind to the Packers. So McNames will shake him up outside and just give a little dish to Darren Larson.
He is fun to watch. You can't really tell because the dogs have those long pants on, but you should see the set of thighs on McNames.
He is an Iron Man. Marv McCune says he can't remember a game that he didn't play 40 minutes or 32 minutes.
Oh! They'll call McNames for the foul anyway.
With Ledebor, I believe, for the step in. No, it's going to go on McNames.
There's a timeout on the floor, and we'll go back to Stacy Bauer, who's standing by in Sioux Falls. Give us an update, Stacy. Stevens does win. Rapid City will join Spearfish and Lincoln in the semifinals.
Back at the B, the Bulldogs up by 3 early in the ball game. 4 minutes into the first quarter, 8-5. DeSmet leading the Armour Packers. Armour with those softs at the guard positions. Ledebor, this is Chris Peters, the other guard, to his running mate Ledebor. And the iron is a little tight down there at the Armour end, and it's going to stay down there.
Marv.
Good reaction shot of Marv, huh?
Oh, hey, there's 3. You know, we had one of those guys poked it away, he thought, but the 3 of his players right around it.
Tried to run it for Knorr. And Peters will set it up. A little shake, good left-handed dribble, and the scoop to Knorr. That's good offense.
The freshman with the bucket. Tom, Stacy was right. Stevens wins it by the final score of 76-72. That was in overtime.
8-7 Armour. Or 8-7 DeSmet, rather. There's time remaining, first quarter. A lob to Cruz. And Ross Cruz with his first 2 of the game. 10-7. DeSmet, and they'll apply the man-to-man pressure. McNames, along with Larson, they'll try the run and jump, but there's the dish again to Knorr, who connects for the second straight time down the floor. 4 for Tony Knorr.
Your typical freshman is Tony Knorr. He needs a little space to get off his shot, but he was wide open, and he nailed that last one.
Dobson drugged that left foot, pivot foot.
And once again, Marv McCune, there's you looking at Coach Planzer, but Marv jumped off trying to figure out where the travel was.
Both of these guys, we could put cameras on them and we wouldn't know what the score was going to be in the game. You wouldn't know who was winning. Peters guarded by Darren Larson, 10-9. DeSmet clinging to that 1-point lead. This is Jeremy Larson. And he got the roll, 2 for Jeremy to give Armour its first lead at 11-10.
That was a pretty good pass, too. Sanders did not have the ball in his hands very long. He rifled it down low quickly.
Darren Larson, McNames. To his running mate, Jeremy Dobson, and somebody got a piece of it down there. I think it was Knorr, but the rebound to Darren Larson. And they get Dannenbring for the walk.
Again, Stevens advances in the AA, 76-72 in overtime over Aberdeen. Troy Piakowski, 31 points.
Barry Hine back in with those 2 fouls for DeSmet. As you look at Ledebor and Josh McNames in their head-to-head battle. It's Peters. The lefty with the pull-up, his first two, and Armour opens up a 3-point lead, and this is Dannenbring right back at him. 6 points for Adam Dannenbring, and it's 13-12 Armour.
You know, Dannenbring, I guess if you go by paper, is the only starter who doesn't average in double figures, but he's just almost right at 10 and can score big.
There's a block by McNames on the freshman McNور, the head pass ahead.
Sanders.
Dannenbring blocked by Sanders, but they're going to get him with the body foul. Or will they?
Yeah, it was Sanders who blocked Dannenbring, and as they tried to go back, as we look at the replay, you can look at some scores. Kansas moves on. Texas will in the second half as well. Overtime game. Did you pick that one right?
I got that one. Got that one.
That's a good old-fashioned Hinder spanking.
102. Back at the B at the Barnett Center. 13-12. Armour with a lead. 1:20 to go. Barry Hine ahead to Josh McNames. We'll see if he gives it back. No, Josh all by himself. First two for Josh.
And McNames started it all by knocking the pass away or taking it away from Peters on the other end.
Larson all the way to Noor. And Tony will back it back out. Very poised for a freshman. Makes good decision, as coach says. Decisions on the floor. 34 for Armour as Matt Sparks as the three by Sanders goes awry. McNames looked one way, went the other to Dobson. Wadded off the glass by Sanders, and the Armours think they have a break, but it's 2-on-3. Sanders with a little juke. And they get Dannenbring for his second.
The Pack wanted to get the running game going early in the game against DeSmet. So I think Armour so far has done a pretty good job, Tom, of recognizing when it's time to push the basketball. And there was a case when I think it was a pretty good opportunity to get the ball up the floor, and it helped with that second foul on Dannenbring.
Larson. Out at 4 for Jeremy Larson. 25 seconds to play. First quarter, Armour in a back-and-forth game, up by 1. McNames will pull it out and play for one shot. Got to believe they'll let him dribble and create and maybe get Dobson for the three-pointer. Hine at the other wing.
Ledabor on the D.
Right by him. He got to the rim where he wanted, but Armour will hang on to the lead to end quarter number 1, 15-14. 1 quarter down, Armour on top by a point, 15-14 in a very evenly played first 8 minutes. As the Thursday night crazies get after it. 51 into the game for the Packers.
Well, Hine just a little off on his shot. He has 45 three-pointers coming into this game.
Sanders. 7 for Brandon Sanders, and a 3-point lead now for Armour.
Strength of Sanders' game is versatility. We've seen it all in the first almost 9 minutes of this game. He's got a couple of blocks, hit some jump shots.
51 down low for DeSmet is Mark Wilkinson. McNames trying to create. And that is pretty.
Accomplished.
Watching in Sioux Falls, fans might remember Derek Martin, who played for the Skyforce. That move there just reminded me a little bit of the way he would spin and go to the rim. This is Hine. Strong, ripped down by Larson. Armour with a 1-point lead and the ball.
Someone just
taking advantage.
Defensive assignment, yeah. Someone just forgot to step up.
McNames fouled on the way up. It'll go on Chris Peters. As Ross Cruz gets a little tender love and care from the student trainer.
Through the first quarter, both teams shooting pretty well. Armour 58%, and from the floor, DeSmet 54%. Pack have knocked down one three-pointer. That was Sanders. Rebounds close, just one off there, and turnovers close, just one difference there. That's why there was 1 point difference on the scoreboard.
In that last break, Marv McCune was telling his DeSmet players, we want to get into a flow. We should have break after break on these guys. Dobson a little long off the back of the iron, and there's McNames.
And another blocking foul would be called against McNames, and Coach Glanzer does not like it. McNames the last couple of times has got 2 quick fouls on Peters, both on the same type of a situation.
Burnell asking what's he have to do?
He has to keep his feet in one place.
That's right, he's got to be there.
Good call.
McNames not looking for the three-point shot yet. But he can hit that one straight away with the best of them. This is Dannenbring, and it's knocked away inside by Matt Sparks. So Peters on the attack. Sparks from about 10 feet. Matt gets in the score column, and it's a 21-16 Armour lead. And the Bulldogs turn it over again.
Pass just too high. Larson could do nothing about it.
They're going to call Ledebor for the travel. And the Bulldogs want a timeout, down by 5. Packer fans, backers, glad to have you here. Glad to have you along with us on the statewide telecast as Armour has opened up a bit of a lead here on DeSmet in the first quarter. 5:28 to play, first half. 21-16, the Packers on top.
Armour out 6-2 in the second quarter.
McNames, Sanders rebound. Larson. Taken away by Dobson ahead to Hine. He's got McNames with him, but there's what they want Barry Hine to do, finish on the break. He averages 12 points a game.
I think Barry has to feel good that that first one went in. He had 3 threes and another breakaway type of layup similar to that did not go in.
KU advances at the national tournament, as do the Longhorns. Alabama in overtime beat the Quakers. And that's finally a final. St. Mary's will be happy about that. Dannenbring couldn't get it to go.
Adam had to watch it. He has got 2 personal fouls, and he almost picked up his third trying to go for that second shot opportunity.
Ross Cruz back in, and Darren Larson out for the Dogs. 4:28 to play, first half. 3-point game, Armour on top, 21-18. McNames will trigger it in. This is Hine from behind the line, and it's good for Barry. 5 quick ones for Barry Hine, and he ties it up.
The 46th three-pointer for Hine. I think that's more than anyone else in Kearney coming in.
Barry, kind of the character on the Bulldog squad, makes his own commercial as Sanders scores.
Good ball movement. The Armour Packers, when they're running their offense right, Coach Glanzer says we're kicking the ball around. We're moving it around offensively, and that's what worked as Sanders was open.
Cruz is hacked inside. Ledebor gets the foul.
(17-4), Coach Glanzer's team. Platt, Mitchell Christian, Stickney, and Parkston all have topped the Armour Packers. In fact, in the Stickney game, he said that is the worst game we played this year.
Quite low on the boys. Got 2 on that night. Cruz misses the first. Drops 6'3", just a junior. Three points for Ross Cruz. He pulls his team within 1. 3:55 to play, first half. The guys in gold lead it by 1, 23-22. Armour on top of DeSmet. Second quarter halfway through. Hasn't been more than about a 3-point advantage either way. As the sophomore Austin Ledebor brings it up against Barry Hine. There's the jump and run that DeSmet will throw at you. This is the other soph. Chris Peters won't go. And McNames will push it hard the other way. Josh averages 16, just 4 to this point, but he does have a couple of assists. And the walk will send it back down to Packerland. Eureka and Tulare moved on this afternoon. Emory behind a huge performance out of Chris Jensen. 32 in that win over Zucchini in the first round tonight.
Larson with a nice soft jump shot. Both Larson and Sanders have shown in this game real nice ability to hit that what is sometimes a tough shot 6 to 8 feet away.
Jeremy Larson has 8 and his team back up by 3. Barry Hine with the pull-up from 15. Runs it back down. You see Burnell Glanzer there at the top of your screen. He wanted to push off on Hine. Barry playing with those 2 fouls, as is Adam Dannenbring, and this is Dobson on the pull-up. Ripped down by Larson, who's playing an excellent first half. McNames to the rim, and that is his game. 6 points for Josh. Took it right away.
Almost faked like a double team, and then McNames stepped right back and into the passing lane of that bounce pass.
Yeah, the one thing that Ledebor and Peters don't want to do is get too close like that. And Jeremy Larson was 6 in the quarter, 10 in the game. Armour back up by 3, 2:10 to play, first half. Barry Hine hit one from the corner before, but Sanders rips it down. And Armour will try to extend that lead. Peters on the attack. McNames with a hand on it again. This is Ledebor. Nice pass to Brandon Sanders.
More impressive than the pass, I think, was the catch, and Sanders being able to control that. It's in tight quarters, and if you don't catch it right away, it's usually hard to control it. But Sanders with some nice soft hands and a really, really nice move, pretty move.
You're driving the dish. The big guys will love you if you're a D&D man. And Dobson at the other end. He has 4. And McCune's team back within 3. And if I knew what happened, I'd tell you, but Burnell wanted an explanation.
It was a 5-second call.
5 seconds on the inbound. So the Dogs will take it out. McNames underneath.
I was writing something down in the book, but without a foul and without a pass in, there's nothing else it could have been.
Armour down 3. 1:10 to play before halftime. Again at the half, we'll go back to Sioux Falls to see how Mitchell and Sioux Falls Roosevelt are coming along. Ross Cruz with the spin, but it won't go. And Sanders again with a rebound. Under a minute now to play, first half. Armour with a 3-point lead in the ball.
You know, DeSmet likes to do a little full court stuff or half court trapping things too, but not shooting all that great. They haven't been able to do it in the second quarter.
Nice post D by Darren Larson with the steal. And with a 3, DeSmet could tie it up, but McNames will run it down. We'll look away pass to Cruz, and they almost get within 1, but who's got the rebound but Dobson? And on the third attempt, the Dogs cash it in. 6 for Dobson, and it's a 1-point game. There's the time remaining before halftime. Close to a 10-second call. Look at that pass by McNames from his knees. Ledebor comes away with it. Sanders is going to get a shot off at the buzzer. Good if it goes. And in a wild finish to the second quarter, Armour hanging on to a 1-point lead. And I believe that is Jeremy Dobson on the floor. He got kicked in the head on that last exchange. Going for the loose ball. Armour on top by 1. That means we'll talk to Burnell Glanzer. Lee?
All right, Burnell, it's been pretty up and back. Just what did you see in that first half, and what do you need to talk about at halftime?
Just what we said before the game. Every time we don't turn the ball over and run our offense down here, we get good shots and score. But when we get it in a flurry of turnovers, then they make the comeback. You know, we've been up by 5 a couple times, and then we turn it over in front, and down they go. So, you know, we got to control that.
And you've done a pretty decent job, I think, defensively as well. We've been missing a couple, but Sanders is doing a good job, and I think Larson's also played a good first half, a solid first half.
Well, they have. Like I say, DeSmet's best offense has been our offense, and we've turned the ball over and let them go. It's hard to play defense on a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 layup.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. You know, his team's still ahead, right? By a point. We'll be back.